What's up guys, SeaOtterGamer here, back with another Saturday morning bonus video. Now the purpose of this video is to talk about the new YouTube partnership program that Nintendo released on Thursday. So I'll be talking a little bit about some of the things that go on in the background of a YouTube channel. So if that interests you, please feel free to stay. I also wanted to say really quickly that I'm not against Nintendo. I actually really like a lot of their games and products, especially the Legend of Zelda and Pokemon series. However, I do feel like they are a bit behind the times as far as how they deal with content creators and some of their YouTube policies as well. Now, if you are a part of the YouTube gaming scene at all, you already know that the most game developers and publishers openly welcome YouTube content. That is because the relationship between YouTube creators and the game manufacturers are mutually beneficial. So the game companies provide us with content and YouTube provides them with advertisement, traffic, and sales. I've gotten plenty of messages saying that I swayed someone's decision to buy a game or thanking me for showing them that a game that they had never heard of and are enjoying playing. This is not new. There's plenty of evidence supporting that the benefit that companies get from YouTube videos. That is why many developers, especially indie developers, crave YouTube videos. So much so that they will email YouTubers asking for videos, put statements on their websites giving us permission to make them and monetize videos, and sometimes even giving out free review copies of games so that we have one to make a video with. Now, however, there is one company that is notorious in the gaming scene that they are against fan-made content. So much so that they condemn content creators for using their intellectual property or IPs, claiming any video that they find to take the ad revenue, and have sometimes even shut down channels. That company is, of course, Nintendo. However, about a year ago, there were some rumors saying that they were looking to review their policy and have finally done so. Now, as much as I may not agree with their policy, I do know that it is a step in the right direction and progress is certainly being made. So, however, I do have several issues with their policy and I'd like to outline them here. So now, there are two ways to partner through Nintendo. You can submit your entire channel. That means they will take revenue from every one of your previous and future videos, including your non-Nintendo ones, and give a split of 70-30. So they take 30%, you keep 70%. Now you can submit individual videos. They will review the video and then take a split 60-40, meaning they take 40%. Now this is still their IP, I wanted to say, so they are free to do so. Now there are some arguments for fair use and right to review, but let's ignore those now since we're on YouTube and I don't really have the time to go into copyright stuff right now. So I also want to mention you'll be paid in US dollars via PayPal and up to 3 months later. We'll get into this in a bit. So why is this split bad? Well, they take all of the ad revenue and then send you a check for the difference. So that's not too bad. So that's usually how multi-channel networks or MCNs do it. So let's say you do an individual video, and let's say this video makes $100 because it's an easy number and we can use it for percentages later. So YouTube takes roughly 45% of the cut, which makes sense. They have to run their servers, electricity, pay their people. We're using their system, so they take 45%. That's not too bad, actually. So that leaves us $55 of that original $100. Now, Nintendo takes their 40%, leaving you with $33. Now, they did it through PayPal, and PayPal will take 4%, leaving you $31. Now, that does not include any of the cut if you're partnered with an MCN, which is usually roughly about 20 to 30%. So, and it also doesn't take into account a fee for changing currency if you live outside of the United States, and also taxes that you have to pay on this. So of your $100 left, of this $100, you are left with 31% at most, and probably closer to 15 to 20 after taxes and if you have a multi-channel network. So remember I said it'll take up to 3 months? Well, if I were to partner tomorrow, which is the 1st of February, the ad revenue would go to Nintendo at the end of the month. They take 2 months to process it, making it the end of April before I would get paid. So if you're barely making it on YouTube or trying to, try going 3 months without pay. So now here's the kicker, and I quote, "The advertisement revenue share is 70% for channels and 60% for videos. This rate may be changed arbitrarily." They could in fact say, you know what, we want 90% of the ad revenue, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, is this likely to happen? Not really, but could it? Yes. And that is a scary, scary thing. So I would like to take a moment to go actually into the actual contract. I'm going to quote a few things they say here. Section 7B of the Terms of Service state, "You further agree not to engage in any discriminatory, defamatory, libelous, hateful, harassing, abusive, obscene, threatening, physically dangerous, unlawful, or otherwise objectionable content and related to the content or the Nintendo Creators Program." The key to these are objectionable content. That's the key phrase here, because that is completely arbitrary and left up to their interpretation. Now, if you don't like it, or sorry, if they don't like your review, tough. That is objectionable. You let a certain word slip while playing in the game because you're in the moment, well, your video gets denied. You see the possibility of this being abused, not to mention the huge amounts of censorship this is possible as well. So we saw this with EA when they wouldn't let you put lower than a 5-star rating on some of their mobile games, or with some certain indie game developers who try to get channels taken down for copyright infringement when they get a bad review. And this is not okay. That is censorship, and we don't need that. So Section 10 of the TOS states, "In the event this agreement is terminated for any reason, you will no longer have the license to use the content, and you will no longer be entitled to any advertising revenue generated in connection with your videos. Upon such termination, and upon Nintendo's request, you must immediately take down any video and text related thereto. Our failure to insist upon or enforce your strict compliance with this agreement will not constitute a waiver of any of our rights." Now, in the event that Nintendo decides to quit this program, you must take down all of your videos. Now, if you partnered your entire channel, that may mean all of your videos, not just the Nintendo ones, because they laid claim to all of them. Remember that. So, or they could, in fact, take all of the ad revenue and leave you with 0%. They stated that in there as well. So, whether or not this applies to non-Nintendo videos, if you partner your entire channel, is up to speculation. The way it's worded, it could be. And that is a very scary thing as well. Now, if you partner your entire channel, they own all of the rest of your videos, and therefore can claim and ad revenue for your entire channel, or take down all of your videos and your channel. Very, very scary stuff. So, it takes up to 3 days to get a video reviewed and accepted. So you want your video to go up as the game gets released if possible. So that is the best time to put your video up. That's just a YouTube thing. So the reason why is the game is on everyone's minds, and therefore people are searching for that content. So if you're late, then you will lose out on some of those views as well, potential views. This also affects your search rankings, because that goes by how many views are on your video. So that limits the views you could get down the road as well, not just when it's published. So finally, reviews are best when the game just came out, because it helps protect the consumer. So if a game is not worth buying, is buggy, or has issues, that the information is crucial right when the game launches. That way people know whether or not to buy it. So otherwise the people will buy the game not knowing these facts, and will be stuck with a bad purchase, unless they pre-ordered it, of course, which is another problem entirely. So I also wanted to bring up the issue of conflict of interest. So The first one is that the company whose games you are playing and reviewing is paying you. That is a huge conflict of interest there. They are, in fact, paying you to review their content, even though you are, in fact, paying them as well. But the money is still coming through Nintendo. So finally, as well, Nintendo screens all of your videos and can therefore censor the content it doesn't like. That's a conflict of interest as well. We talked about that a little bit earlier. So if you make a Nintendo review, you will be scared when your channel could be taken down. So that means that if you decide to review a game and there's something you don't like and you speak out against that one thing that you don't like, then they could in fact take down your entire channel. So the people who are in this program, do you think they're going to risk saying bad things in their reviews about Nintendo? Probably not. There goes the last 2, maybe 6 years of YouTube videos down the drain and their entire job and livelihood. So my stance on this matter should be pretty clear. I choose not to record Nintendo games for this reason. That's just one thing that I did when I started this channel. I still play them, but you won't see them on my channel. I do have friends of this channel who do play Nintendo games, and they've told me that they're either stopping or just going on business as usual and hoping they don't get claimed. It sounds like Nintendo arbitrarily will or won't claim, so who knows, therefore going forward for that. So my biggest fear, however, is that this will start a trend. A company like EA, who's kind of already a little bit sketchy, will say, hang on a minute, I want more money and censorship as well. Now everybody has to claim every individual video they make through the developers. If that happened, I really don't see any more newer or smaller channels on YouTube. They will all be gone, and that will be a very, very sad day when that happens. If that happens, that's just a worst case scenario. If everyone decides to do one of these themselves, that is a possibility where you have to, and that'll be a huge hassle too, if you have to go and get your channel approved by the developers every time you want to post one. And that includes if you post just a snippet. If I was doing a top 10 list and I wanted to put a Nintendo game in there, they would probably claim the entire video because of that snippet of gameplay in there. So what that means is if you do a review, you have to do the review without any gameplay footage, which is kind of like doing a scientific paper or research without a works cited. There's nothing to back it up, and that's why you need that gameplay footage in there as well. So I think I've ranted on enough. I hope you all learned a little bit about the content creator side of making videos. Most of the time, however, is fun, happy recording time. However, there's a lot of channel maintenance like this in the background. I'm excited and also apprehensive to see where this goes. I'm hoping it'll get reviewed again with a better advertising split, and also hopefully more rights for the content creators. I do see a lot less Nintendo stuff being produced in the future because of policies like this, which honestly harms Nintendo more than it does anybody else, except for other channels that are exclusively Nintendo. Who knows, they might start going elsewhere. And I just don't like to see people kind of getting screwed over by the companies they love. These people love playing Nintendo games and they love making videos on them, and they kind of are doing it out of the bottom of their heart, and I feel like they're getting screwed over. Not my channel, however. But that's pretty much all I have to say on this. I hope you found it informative and, I don't know, at least somewhat entertaining. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.